All right, and we are good to go, people. What's up, everybody? We are back after a week-long hiatus. The experience is back. Welcome, welcome. I am Drew, and with me, as always,
Justin from Spinebuster Tees and spinebustertees.com.
yes, sir, yes, sir. And we are back, and we have quite a few things to talk about. It's going to be a busy wrestling weekend this upcoming weekend with Saturday night's main event. NXT Battleground as well as Double or Nothing. And as usual, we're just going to cover the TV shows. I missed SmackDown. Didn't get a chance to watch SmackDown last Friday.
I didn't watch SmackDown. I'll be honest, I didn't watch any wrestling. I didn't have time to watch wrestling this week or Friday. I didn't see nothing.
All right. All right. Raw I watched. NXT I missed like the second half. So yeah, I guess we'll just keep it Raw based, as well as some news. News that I found, and I don't know if you have any news on you.
Um, no.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just stick with the news I got, which is actually just one thing. It's just I guess
What is?
we'll cross that bridge. Fuck it. We'll just talk about it anyway. Roman Reigns apparently has been cast in a Street Fighter movie.
Oh, he's playing a Puma.
Uh, he's playing somebody. I never even heard of him, but
He
him.
just said he's playing a Kuma.
Okay. Yeah. Deadline reported that Reigns is in talks for a lead role in a live-action adaptation of Street Fighter, along with Jason Momoa, Andrew Koji, and Noah Centineo. So cool. Oh yeah, Akuma. You're right. It says that right there. But good for Roman getting some Hollywood roles. This seems like it's going to be a big role for him.
Well, yeah,
Um,
Kuma's one of the bosses in Street Fighter, so
one of the, if not the biggest fighting game of all time.
yeah, biggest fighting franchise for sure. Yeah.
So, do you have any thoughts about that or anything?
Uh, I hope the movie's good. Most video game movies are not good, so I hope this one's good. And the first Street Fighter movie was not good, so
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like Mortal Kombat, where it's like, well, I think the first Mortal Kombat movie was better than the
oh,
original
yeah,
Street Fighter
it was,
movie,
it
but
was it was definitely a much better movie. I'll say the first Mortal Kombat was a good movie. It was very faithful
right.
to like the source. Like I can tell, oh, that's Scorpion. Oh, that's Liu Kang. Oh, that's Johnny Cage. Like in the first Street Fighter, I'm like man, like what the fuck? That's Ryu. That's supposed to be Ken. Like you know what I mean? Like the only people that actually looked like themselves was probably Guile and Bison and maybe Cammy. Maybe you know.
Yeah, Raul Julia, bless his heart, he took that role for his kids, and he was dying while he was filming the movie, and he was the only one in that movie that seemed like he understood the assignment. Like he read the script and he's like, I already know what role I'm playing. So he's definitely had a lot of fun in that movie. Um, it's a movie that's enjoyable for maybe all the wrong reasons because it's not particularly good, but um, better than
Fighting game
you know,
community despises that movie.
yeah, I imagine. I was gonna say better than Chun Li, that's for sure. That Chun Li movie that came out like what 2005, but yeah, good for Roman Reigns if that's the case. Another wrestling movie role before we move on to the rest of for the rest of the show. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, has been cast in another movie for A24. It's called Breakthrough. It's a new psychological thriller. The film follows a young man who comes under the influence of a motivational guru who uses morally questionable methods of manipulation. I'm guessing The Rock is playing the guru. So good. I mean, good for The Rock, who's taking more unpredictable roles. and less, action films, and he wants to push himself and, you know, be taken seriously as an actor. He's doing that Fighting Machine movie where he's playing Mark Kerr, the MMA fighter.
Machine.
Smashing Machine, there you go. He's going to be in a Martin Scorsese movie as well. So
Like,
good for The Rock.
have you ever heard of the UFC before? Hi, he's very violent. My name's Mark Kerr. My name's Mark Kerr. I have a cousin named Nick.
Oh God.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
talks like that in the movie.
well, man, I only saw one trailer, and I was like, yeah, sure. Good for The Rock.
Well,
It's good for The Rock. That's
I think he's, it's gonna be a very good movie. It looks very good. So, you know,
so I'll see it when it comes out. I usually enjoy most of what I see from A24, so we'll talk about it. But um, that's all the news that we have. So we're just gonna
that.
move on. Go ahead.
I mean, that's all you had. I mean, there's like NXT Europe. There's a lot of news out there, but I mean, we don't have to cover it. I'm just saying that's all the things that you found interesting.
Well, yeah. Well, because usually you're the one that brings I guess, the more detailed news.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, we can move on. That's fine.
All right. But like, yeah, we didn't watch SmackDown. SmackDown will be going back to 2 hours on June the 4th or June the 6th.
That is not true, actually, and I think I have it here. Give me 1 second. I saw something that stated that SmackDown. Oh yeah, this came from PW Insider. Internally, the USA Network has Friday Night SmackDown listed for 3-hour episodes in early June. The original plan was to return to 2 hours in early summer. That's PW Insider. So, it could go back, back to 2 hours on June 6th, but according to PW Insider, it's still 3 hours in early June. So we'll have to keep up with that news and information.
Well, that's a boo. Man, I think SmackDown worked better under 2 hours. Unfortunately, they don't have the luxury that Raw has on Netflix, where they can kind of just wing it and end at 2.5 hours, which I think that that's so much better. SmackDown's just SmackDown's just rough. Like it's a badly paced show. I mean, granted, there are some good high spots in
I
it,
mean, for
but
what
like
I heard, I mean, I didn't watch SmackDown Friday. I heard this past Friday was really good, actually.
I heard the same thing. Mish brought it up that he actually did like SmackDown this past Friday. I know R Truth, did an interview where he talked about the Cena match going into this weekend. Other than that, just I don't know. It's a weird show. I really do hope it does go back to 2 hours, sooner rather than later. But what can you do? But there was Monday Night Raw, which you said you didn't watch, right?
No. The only thing
Okay.
I saw was the Zoe Stark's spot, which was horrific, but outside of that, I didn't really see anything. Her Raw wasn't good. So I'll just keep it at that. I have no opinion on anything. So I didn't see anything.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Zoe Stark's spot. We'll talk about that. So there's a triple threat to it was a Money in the Bank qualifier. Zoe Stark, Kari Sane, and Rhea Ripley. Kari Sane, returning to Raw. There was a spot where Zoe Stark, I believe, was going for a missile drop kick off the top, off the middle rope, and she lands. I mean, to say awkwardly is an understatement. Her fucking leg curved to where it looked like a fucking backwards L. Like it looked horrible, and I can hear her screaming. Like it wasn't even just like oh shit. It was more just like she was screaming in agonizing pain, and I felt terrible for her because I do like Zoe. Um, it's been kind of rougher because she lost her team. Sonya's gone, Shayna's gone, so she's kind of on her own. and she just got hurt. So it does suck for anyone to get hurt. It's like we all say, this isn't ballet. So hoping for a speedy recovery for Zoe. I believe it was the same knee that she injured before. Um, but yeah, it was rough. It sucks. It does suck for her. But Rhea won the match. I think everyone expected. Um, as for the rest of the show, this is basically just the go home show. A lot of segments, a lot of talking throughout the whole show. Seth Rollins pretty much trying to insert himself back into the World Heavyweight Championship scene. He's you have Paul Heyman talking to Jey Uso, trying to get in his head. You have Seth Rollins talking to Gunther. You have Seth Rollins talking to I think Logan Paul, and it was just kind of oddly placed to me because it was just him saying, yeah, beat him up, like doing all that shit, and it just felt really weird and out of place. But the show opened with Gunther. Actually, no, the show, Logan Paul. I'm sorry, Logan Paul opened the show to hype up the match this weekend, and then Gunther came out. And the one thing I really love about Gunther is that he hates everybody, whether it's a heel or a face. Like he's like, I don't like you, like fuck off. Like this isn't a
Well,
thing of
I
like,
mentioned this before that you know, you know, all baby faces hate heels, but all heels hate heels. So that's what it should be, at least.
right, but usually for most people, the heels always try to cozy up to the other heels. But in Gunther's case, he's like, I hate everybody. So
Yeah, yeah, I understand that, but what I'm saying is traditionally that's what should be. It should be that.
yeah,
Yeah, all baby faces hate heels. All heels. Well, I said all heels hate heels, but all heels hate everyone. So that's what it should be. In
and
theory.
I'm agreeing with you. I love the fact that Gunther is just old school. He's the definition of old school. So, and he just tells Logan Paul pretty much like whoever wins, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. And the championship match is the Raw after Money in the Bank, which is pretty interesting to see how that goes. However, Money in the Bank plays out, which more than likely it's going to be Jay versus Gunther. So we'll see how that works out. And then Jay came out and super kicked Logan Paul, and yeah, that's how it worked. I guess he got his comeuppance. You had Penta and AJ Styles, sorry, versus Finn Balor and JD McDonough. I thought this was a lot of fun. This is a very good tag match, as expected, with four guys who know how to work. Um, as I said before, I find myself enjoying the mid card and also the women's division on Raw more than I do the main event scene. It's more interesting, and I like the stuff with Penta and the Judgment Day, and then Chad Gable and El Grande Americana being thrown in there, and it makes sense for Judgment Day to get the win. Especially since El Grande came in and headbutted Penta with his loaded mask, which that's kind of a thing where it's just like I'm pretty sure this is going to culminate in a mask versus mask match at the Worlds Collide pay-per-view. I'm almost positive that's how it's gonna.
Yeah, I'm assuming. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, that's actually going to be coming up pretty soon here, but um, you know, with Penta coming in and Ray, like this tag team, from what I saw at least, like it was pretty good from what I saw the highlights. But they're playing on like very high performance matches. I mean they were known for that in AEW as well, but yeah,
Right.
it's just good to see that they're doing it in WWE. They're basically having near almost AEW style matches on WWE, which is refreshing.
Right. And the WWE audience, they're kind of not used to that. They're
Right.
used to, I guess, the more safer, quote unquote WWE style when they see guys like Penta and Ray Phoenix come in and just kind of do something different. Like, wait, what's this? So it works, especially when you have guys like an AJ or a Balor or a McDonough. McDonough, I don't know if this is just me. He seems more motivated ever since he came back from that injury.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I just said, yeah, I agree.
Right. I mean, again, I never thought he was bad. I just thought he was just kind of okay, but he seems like a lot better and more motivated. So I guess that humbled him a little bit. You know, having a very scary injury like that can either make or break you, and in this case, he's kind of been made, so to speak. But good for JD. Let's see what else we got next. Um, and just not for nothing, I'd love to see a match with AJ and Penta. That kind of seems like that's the match to happen sometime down the pike. You had another Money in the Bank qualifier for the women's. You had Natalia versus Roxanne Perez versus Becky Lynch. Um, Shenanigans happened with Lyra coming out and costing Becky the match, and it ended with Roxanne getting the pin on Natalia, which good for Roxanne. Only 22 years old. She was the Iron Woman in the women's Royal Rumble. Now she's in Money in the Bank. So good for Roxanne. She's getting good reactions from the crowd. The crowd likes her. I think she's going to be a face pretty soon, but maybe not so soon because she's already in this new bit with the Judgment Day where Finn Balor brought her in the locker room and she gave Dominic chicken nuggets, not tenders, but chicken nuggets, and gave Carlito a new apple. I just thought that was funny. And Raquel just told her, okay, you gave your gifts, now get the hell out of here. Liv's going to hear about this. So,
It's so funny seeing their interaction because they used to wrestle each other in the Texas Indies a lot, especially
mm,
down in the Valley. I mean, they're both like, pretty much down there in the Valley and also like San Antonio and Houston. And, so I'm pretty sure it was pretty cool for them to have that, one of the first interactions that they had on TV together. So it's pretty cool.
yeah, that's another thing I brought up. To Betty and Claudia when they were watching. I'm like, yeah, they're both Texas girls. Roxanne's from Laredo. Um, Raquel, I forgot where she's from.
She's
And
from the
I know,
Rio Grande.
right? Okay, but
Yeah, but Raquel, she trained here in San Antonio, with Rudy Boy Gonzalez, and she has
mm,
her banner, um, a banner of herself retired as a graduate from TWA, and Roxy lived here for a little bit, um, train at Hybrid, so which is pretty cool. So like the same school that Ren Sinclair and Maddie Rinkowski was
mm.
at as well. So it's like San Antonio's like they're building women stars here, that eventually get to the big leagues, not just WWE, but there's a couple of girls that sit in NWA, some that wrestled on AEW, Ring of Honor. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see.
Let me ask you something. And we're both Roxanne supporters here. Like, how would you attribute her success on the main roster compared to like other people from developmental? Like, what do you think it is about her that the fans have taken to the way they have to her, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, she just started, so I mean, I can't really say that she's like totally successful yet. I mean, I can't. I'm not gonna say that she's not. I mean, obviously, I think she definitely will be, but I can't really say that she is successful. I can't really base, what, month and a half. You know what I mean? Like, that's not really uh, a good assessment to make as of yet.
Right. Yeah, I get what you mean, but like so far the reactions have been positive. They've been pushing her, and we've had these conversations about people being over pushed and it not working out the way we all thought it would. But like in Roxanne's case, have they been kind of over pushing her? Yes, maybe yes and no. But in her case, she makes it work because she's talented and she's believable. So I don't know. I'm happy for Rox, and like you just said, I'm gonna hold off on it until maybe like SummerSlam or maybe the end of the year, pretty much. But I'm happy for Rox at the end of the day. What do we got next? We had Sheamus versus Grayson Waller. Last week it was supposed to be Grayson Waller versus the returning Sheamus, but he substituted Austin Theory for him. And this week it was Grayson versus Sheamus, and a lot of Austin Theory chants, which I thought was kind of cool. I think that was more just a spite thing of like the fans don't like Grayson, so they're gonna cheer for Austin. But um, I'm kind of hoping this kind of happens soon. Just kind of have these two have their feud and let Austin break off and just be a babyface. I
I mean,
think
how
that.
long have you been talking about this for over a year now?
Yep. And it's like, okay, shit or get off the pot. So I think Austin has a better upside. I mean, he has a look. I think I think he can be likable as a face. I mean, I see him on social media interacting with fans, and I don't want to say WrestleMania main event, um, but I will say I think he could be something if they push him the right way, if they find something for him that works. So I do think he needs a little fine tuning. Maybe go to TNA and run some rounds there. Maybe do something in NXT for a little bit. But
I
again,
don't want him down in NXT.
you don't.
No.
Okay. All right. Again, just suggestions. But
Everybody
Sheamus
that
won.
down in NXT ends up getting fired. You don't want him down in NXT.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. But good to see Sheamus back. Sheamus is definitely not eating burgers, burger after burger. He looks like he's in tip-top shape. Um, for like what, almost pushing 50. So good for Sheamus. There was not a vignette, but an interview with Tyrese Halliburton, promoting the DLC content for 2K25. Yay. Um, let's see. Anything else on the show happen? Any interest? No, not really. I already brought up the triple threat with Zoe and Rhea. Then you had the main event, which was a non-title with the World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker. Um, a lot of, I mean, this match, it was a match. That's the best way to put it. Um, I think we all figured nobody was really going to win or lose. This was just to set up the weekend. Um, again, Braun channeling his Uncle Scotty, talking shit to the crowd, turning to Pat and saying, that guy's fat. There was also kind of another funny bit where he's yelling at Jay saying, I will beat your ass, son. Do you understand me? So, um, but then there was a funny bit where Jey Uso gets in Paul Heyman's face because Paul Heyman tripped him, and then Paul takes off his coat, and he looks like he's gonna fight him, but then Seth Rollins comes out and causes the disqualification. Sami Zayn comes out and waits on the apron for a little bit too long. I don't know if maybe Punk missed his cue or maybe Sammy went out there too early. But Punk came out and leveled the playing field, and that's how Raw ended. Overall, again, not a great Raw. A lot of it was just segments. I can't really speak too much on it. It was a show. That's the most positive way to put it. Um, let's see. NXT again, kind of like Raw. This was mainly just a lot of segments and matches. I will say, the first match of the night was my favorite part of the show. Um, it was Javon Evans versus Sean Legacy versus Ashante the Adonis. Um, I think this was a number one contenders match. Go ahead.
I didn't say nothing.
Okay. Sean Legacy is really talented. Like he has an interesting build. He kind of reminds me of Buddy Murphy a little bit. Um, I think this was Ashante the Adonis's kind of coming out party. He was pretty good in this. Again, he didn't do anything spectacular, but I thought he was really good. It was nice that they showcased him a little bit. And Javon Evans is Javon Evans. There's really no other way to put that. Um, and while that's happening, you had Ricky Starks or Saints, I'm sorry, on commentary, and Ethan Page attacks him, and they brawl, and they set up a match for next week for the North American title. And Javon Evans splashes on some security guards, or he namely splashes in Ethan Page's area because he hates Ethan Page. While it's happening, you have Ashante and Sean Legacy in the ring. I thought Ashante was going to get the win, but Sean Legacy gets the win anyway, so Sean Legacy wins the match. I believe he's going to get a future North American title. So good for Sean Legacy.
Good
Um,
way to good way to I guess like feature your ID talent. So I'm pretty cool about that.
right. Um, speaking of well, not ID talent, but LFG talent. That happened later on the show. You have Josh Briggs versus Sean Spears. Yeah, it was a match. It's not really. There's really nowhere else I can describe that. Yeah, Chase U, the debut of Kale Dixon and Uriah Connors versus the returning OTM. So good to see OTM back. OTM got the win, as pretty much everyone expected. Yeah, Lola Vice versus Fallon Henley. Vice got the win. The match wasn't bad. It was decent. The story being that Fallon Henley and JC Jane are at odds. Haven't seen a Jasmine Nix in a while, so we'll see how that works out. Let's see.
Is
Then you
she
had Kalani.
injured? Or something?
I'm sorry, what?
Is Jasmine Nix injured?
I'm assuming she's injured because she hasn't been on TV for a while, unless there's a story behind it. I have no clue. But next you had Kalani Jordan versus Zarya to determine who would be the number one contender for Solruka's Women's North American Championship. Fun match. Good back and forth. The story being that Zarya is subtly but not so subtly jealous of Solruka's spot. So that's going to be a thing later on. But Jordan got the win. I like the fact that they're still pushing Jordan, especially with the addition of, some other female talent. But
I mean, yeah, she's
Kalani
getting
Jordan still feel,
a title
but
shot. Yeah. Oh, you talking about
right.
Kalani Jordan? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
first you said Jordan. I was thinking about Jordan Grace.
Oh yeah, well yeah, she's getting a title shot too. But yeah, Kalani, she's still important on the show. That's kind of the basis I'm getting. Because one thing I have noticed recently with NXT is obviously the women are the women. Like the women kind of own the show, basically. And, rightfully so. They are making the men's main event scene feel more important again. Um and I'm glad, because they're pushing Miles Bourne, which I didn't see that coming, but I'm happy because I think he's talented and I think there's something you can do with him. He can definitely be your next like white meat, stomp and clap babyface. Or sympathetic babyface. That's the best way to put it. Um, and then they brought up the two winners of LFG, who I need to look up their names, or else I'm gonna sound like an idiot. Uh, who are the fucking winners of LFG? Hold on, let me pull up the names real quick. Winners of LFG. Okay,
Yeah,
Jasper,
I know the names, but I was letting you find them.
Jasper Troy, and Tyra May Steele.
Okay, there you go.
They got NXT contracts. Jasper Troy, they're in the back, and Jasper Troy said, "I'm going to make an impact later on tonight." And later in the night, he attacked Opafemi, which I thought was pretty bold but interesting. It also helps he's a big dude, so it would have been kind of silly if he's a small guy and he's taking out Opafemi, but he's a big guy and he's going after the like the guy in NXT. So pretty ballsy of them. But again, they are in desperate need of new main event talent. And as much as I like Joe Hendry is in another company, so he's their main event talent. But um, what else happened on the show? And then Joe Hendry had a concert, and Trick Williams had a concert, and sadly I missed those. But that was NXT. Um, Sets up this weekend, and really about it. There's really nothing else I can add to it. Did you watch AEW tonight?
My silence should speak.
Okay. I did see the clip of MJF getting signed to the Hurt Syndicate, so good for MJF.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
so let's.
gonna last until Sunday.
Yeah, I can imagine. All right, so let's talk about this weekend. So Saturday night's main event. Oh shit, where is it? All right, here we go. Saturday night's main event is going to be this Saturday, May the 24th, at the Youngling Center in Tampa, Florida. There's 4 matches announced so far, which kind of seems like that's going to be the way to go. It'll be available on NBC and Peacock and YouTube and certain international
Only
markets.
4 matches? I thought it was at least one more, but okay.
What was that?
I know I was like, it's only 4 matches. I thought there was at least one more, but okay. For some reason, I thought it was one more at least. I thought there was a women's match.
They'll probably throw in a segment just to kind of fill in that gap, but I don't know. I'm assuming that's going to be the way to go. But so far we have Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre in a steel cage match.
I'm gonna go with Damian Priest. I
I'll
don't
go
think.
Damian.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, Drew won at WrestleMania. I think Damian's gonna win it here. Um, I don't know if there's gonna be any shenanigans or anything, but yeah, I got Damian Priest winning.
Yeah, I'm going Damian. I think this is going to go 3 matches, and Damian kind of needs this win.
I don't know what the blow off match will be because they already did like a hardcore street fight and then doing a steel cage. Like, will be the last man standing or something like that? But I'm not
Yep.
sure.
I mean that could be. All right, but yeah, Damian Priest. John Cena versus R-Truth in a singles match, non-title.
If it's non-title, I can see our truth winning with the help of Cody Rhodes, of a returning Cody Rhodes.
Ooh. And in storyline fashion, that can be a dream come true for R-Truth because he got to beat his childhood hero, John Cena. Oh man, yeah, that actually be a pretty good idea. I wouldn't mind that at all. So I'm gonna go with R-Truth as well. Tag team match. You have CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker.
I got the heels.
I got the heels. Let me ask you something. Do you think eventually? Well, maybe not eventually because I will. But like, do you think Seth and Braun will add a third man?
Yes, it's probably gonna be Sami Zayn, possibly.
I thought that too. Because I know last week there was that good shot of Sammy, all three of them, Jay, Punk, and Sammy standing in with chairs, and you saw Sammy standing in the same spot that Seth was standing in when he turned on the Shield. And then rewind the previous month, the Raw after Mania, when Sammy is standing right behind Jay when he's celebrating with his title, and he's just staring at him like he's gonna do something.
I mean, yeah,
So
I will say Sammy turning heel, but also at the same time, that doesn't help my narrative for him winning the Rumble next year. So, yeah,
I mean, you never know. Things could change.
I would turn Sammy Hill just turn right back face, 7 months later, six
Right.
months later. So, if they're gonna turn him heel, I think it should be a long term thing, not a short term.
Right. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the heels, regardless. And lastly, you have Jey Uso versus Logan Paul for the World Heavyweight Championship.
I got obviously Jey Uso winning. Um, should be a fun match for what it is, but yeah, I got Jey winning.
Yeah, Jay's gonna win. Jay's gonna hold on to that title for as long as they see fit. But yeah, it's gonna be Jay. All right, so that's Saturday night's main event. Next, we have NXT Battleground, which I believe me and Jeff Lippman should be covering. Were you going to be able to join us?
Probably not, because AEW will be on at the same time, and I'll be watching that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull double duty on Sunday. So All right.
and I have to be up early too for work, so that's priority.
Okay. I'm gonna need to talk to Jeff about this. But NXT Battleground. This too will be at the Youngling Center in Tampa, Florida. This Sunday, May the 25th. And there's 6 matches. 6-man tag match. You have Hank and Tank and Josh Briggs versus the Culling. Brooks Jensen, Nico Vance, and Sean Spears with Izzy Dane.
Um, I got. I'm gonna go with Hank and Tank
All
and
right.
Josh Brooks. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the faces. Ever since Hank and Tank won those titles, they've been losing like a few matches. And granted, they're not title matches, but it's like, shouldn't your tag champs be winning? Like even like non-title matches. But
I mean,
yeah,
yeah, I like Hank and Tank, and I understand why they moved Axiom up, but the Axiom division really needs some help right now.
agreed. But we go with the faces. NXT North American Women's Championship match. You have Sol Ruka, the champion, versus Kalani Jordan.
So Ruka should be a really good match.
I remember them having a match like a year and a half ago. And I remember it being pretty fun. So this should be a fun match. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go with Sol Ruka. I think Zarya could play a part in it, maybe almost costing her the title, but Sol Ruka's gonna win. Singles match: Tony D'Angelo versus that rat bastard, Channing Stacks Lorenzo.
Rat bastard. I'm going with Stacks. Going with Stacks. I think they're gonna tell a story that Tony D is gonna, you know, eventually kind of fall on hard times, and he's gonna find himself again as the Don. And yeah, but I think Stacks is going to win this first one.
Go with Stacks. I think yeah, Stacks does need a win since he's a heel, a full-fledged heel, and like Tony doesn't lose anything by losing. So go with Stacks. Singles match for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. The first time a TNA World title will be defended on a WWE pay-per-view. You have Joe Hendry, the champion, versus Trick Williams.
Got Joe Hendry.
I'll go with Joe Hendry. It'd be interesting if Trick Williams won. I mean, you can give him like a month-long title reign and Joe can win it back, but I don't know. But I don't know. That certainly would be interesting. Like Joe Hendry can just win it back at the next TNA pay-per-view. But
Yeah, they can do
they
that. But the next TNA pay per view. Well, I think TNA pay per view that I think there's a TNA pay per view this weekend too, if I'm not mistaken. Um, yeah, but go ahead and continue. I'll look that up real quick because I think it's a tag team match with him on one side and Trick Williams on the other side. So let me but I'll look that up right now.
I was gonna say, like, if they really want this partnership to kind of really kick off with a bang, well, not kick off because it already started, but like to really kind of have some gravitas to it, have one of the WWE guys take their belt. Like that would be interesting, but I don't think that's gonna happen. But
But do you think
it'd be,
that WWE will return the favor and have someone um, have someone win one of their belts?
yeah, they can do that too. Yeah, have
Yeah, Under Siege. Yeah, Under Siege is on Friday, and it's Joe Hendry and Elijah versus Trick Williams and Kazarian.
all right. Well, I don't know. You never know what could happen, but I think it would be pretty interesting if Trick won and then Joe can just win it back like I don't know a month later. But I don't know. We'll see. But at the moment, I'm gonna pick Joe Hendry to retain. Singles match for the NXT Women's Championship: Stephanie Vacour versus Jordan Grace.
Should be possible. This possibly maybe match at night. Possibly if they give them time, maybe one of the best women's matches of the year. Stephanie
Mhm.
McCare.
I'm gonna go with Stephanie Vacour. Um, again, this should be a very good match, like you said, if they give them enough time, which I think they would. Um, could be a match of the year candidate. Definitely could be a match of the weekend, but we will see. And lastly, for the a singles match for the NXT championship for the men's. You have Obafemi versus Miles Bourne.
Got Femi winning. Should be a great showcase when I was born. Hopefully he knocks it out the park. I know he probably will. But yeah, I have Femi retaining.
I think Miles will do fine. I mean, he's dating Stephanie Vacour, so he's winning in life. But I'll go with Oba.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah, they're dating. It was kind of subtly announced on the internet.
I've been staying off social media, especially on Twitter. So
Well, you're smart to do that, but
yeah, very much so because I'm not missing out on shit.
yeah, they're dating.
Oh,
Go,
no, go
but
ahead.
yeah, they're dating. There were some pictures that came out where he introduced her to his family, and I gotta tip my hat off to Miles. Good for Miles. Way to go, Miles. You got my respect.
Well, I don't really care about people's relationships, but good for them.
Yeah, that
None of
was
my
NXT Battle. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it's none of my business. But if they're happy, then great.
Lucky motherfucker. But that's NXT Battleground. So let's do Double or Nothing, which is going to be on the same day in Glendale, Arizona at the Desert Diamond Center. And 8 matches are announced. No pre-show matches, from what I can see, but that could change after Friday.
There has not been one AEW show that has not had any pre-show matches. So they're definitely having pre-show matches. Just a matter of what it's going to be.
Yes. So, anywho, let's talk about the show. You have a.
Have to.
I'm sorry.
I mean, do we really have to? I mean, we don't even like. Do you know what's going on in AEW for us to even talk about this?
I
Because I
mean, I
don't.
just know it. I just know MJF's gimmick is that he wants black guys to think he's cool.
So, and MJF is not wrestling on the show, I don't think. So, I can give two shits about this show.
Nonetheless, this
The
is
only
kind
match
of.
I actually care about is the Owen Hart Cup final for the men's. Because I do want to see Osprey and Adam Page. It's gonna be a fucking great match. But outside of that, like, I don't give a fuck.
I mean, I don't give a fuck either. But again, this is just small talk. We'll just breeze through it. Um, women's Owen Hart Foundation Cup final. The winner earns a AEW Women's World Championship match at All In. Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes Monet. Poor fucking Jamie Hayter. Mercedes is gonna win.
Yeah.
All right. Tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. You have the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin versus the Sons of Texas, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara.
Which I do like the name, by the way. Sounds Texas.
Yeah, it's all right.
But good for Sammy, man. He's brilliant. I saw on Instagram the other day, like, he's getting his dream house. Him and what shall call it? Tang, yeah. And the family. It's pretty cute.
Hey, Melon. Yeah, good for them. I got nothing bad. I got nothing bad to say about that. But wasn't there like a thing where Sammy was apparently gonna leave AEW?
I didn't hear anything about that, no.
Because I think he put up like a cryptic message on social media, and everybody was like, "Oh, Sammy leaving AEW." And I guess that's not the case anymore, or
I
maybe it
mean,
is. I don't know.
it's been a fucking Ring of Honor and fucking um Collision. That's about as being gone from AEW as much as if you're not on Dynamite, you ain't shit.
The biggest star in Collision was The Rock, apparently, since they they cut off the feed for the last 30 minutes to play Black Adam.
That's I don't even want to get to that.
Oh man. Anywho,
There,
um,
I'll just say there's thousands of people that are pissed off about that, and there's thousands of people that are happy about it. So
I'm I'm neither. I'm just more like it happened. Um, and I heard Dustin cut a really bad promo tonight.
I don't. I don't know. I didn't see Dynamite.
Like it was the equivalent of Grandpa Simpson talking about his onion belt.
Did you listen to it?
No, I'm
Well,
just,
I don't know how we can judge it if we didn't listen to it. So
I'm just speaking. Anywho, yeah, Hurt Syndicate. You?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Timeless Tony Storm versus Mina Shirakawa for the AEW Women's World
Oh,
Championship.
well, scratch that. I mean, I'm watching two matches, so it's the second one I'm watching.
Yeah, for wrestling related reasons, right?
I mean, I love these women. So
All right. But Tony Storm's gonna win.
yeah. Kind of sucks that you signed Mina Shirakawa, yeah, and you know that she has charisma for days, and she's not a bad wrestler, and you feed her to Tony Storm within 2 weeks. Like, no, I mean, I'm not saying feed her like Tony Storm's burying people. What I'm saying is you feed her to Tony Storm, knowing that there's no story there, there's no opportunity for her to fucking win this match. Then what are you gonna do with her? What are you gonna do with her after this is done, right? Because what did you do with Megan Bain? You have Megan Bain undefeated for a month. She doesn't say any fucking thing. Then you feed her Tony Storm. And where's Megan Bain at now? She's on fucking Collision or whatever. She's on Ring of Honor, whatever the fuck. It's fucking stupid malpractice from this fucking company.
I mean, that's kind of the story of this company, right? Is they hire so much talent, and if you're not Osprey, if you're not, Bobby Lashley or Shelton Benjamin or Tony Storm or Swerve, then you're kind of shit out of luck. You're just going to be used sparingly, and you're just going to collect a paycheck.
They are using like so. Here's the thing: they are using people, like, but to me, it's like, is it the right people? In Tony Khan's opinion, yes, it is the right people. But in the opinion of a lot of other people, no. You know what I mean? So, um, I don't know. I just don't know with this company, and it's sad. It's sad. Has potential, and they're deciding not to do stories the right way. They're deciding not to do recaps and stuff like that, and a lot of people are critical over it. Um, a lot of podcasters are critical over AEW. Meltzer and Alvarez and Sean Ross Sapp, guys who are, I won't say they're pro AEW or pro WWE, whatever the case may be, but they talk a little bit more positively about the company. And they try to, explain on why things are happening, in ways that, the regular audience may not understand. They're even like, what are they doing right now? You know what I mean? So, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. Next, we have a tag team match: FTR versus Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness.
Nigel, like, I don't have anything against Nigel McGinn. I don't have anything against anybody in this match at all. Like, I don't hate anyone here, but like, the reason why this match is happening is because you see,
Holy shit! Oh, I'm sorry, dude. Tyrese Halliburton just hit the buzzer beater.
well,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, man. I'm sorry. Keep talking.
I don't know. Fuck,
No,
fuck
no,
him.
I get you because it's just like Nigel McGuinness. I I'll be honest, I didn't really see a lot of his Ring of Honor run from like the early days. I was only like I caught on to his TNA run when he was Desmond Wolf, and I liked him as a commentator when he was in NXT and NXT UK. I thought he had a lot to add, and just him as a wrestler in AEW, like good for him. He's healthy and he's able to work and he's collecting a paycheck. But I don't know, like again, I don't know if I should speak on this because I don't really watch the show anymore. Um,
It's a
Like,
2 point.
yeah,
It's a 2.
go ahead.
Palmer's foot's on the line. It's a 2-pointer. So it's going to
Okay,
overtime.
so Jesus Christ, it's gonna be a good series, but um, yeah, I'm assuming FTR. Are they still heels?
Well, yeah, that's the storyline.
Because I know they beat up Cope or Edge or whatever.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got distracted when you said that Halbert hit the game winner. So the story that they're telling is the same, kind of the same story of Gunther and Pat McAfee. So yeah, so FTR attacks the commentator, and the commentator gets a match
Mm.
against the heels. So
Alrighty then.
that was
So,
FTR the heels, right?
so how does Daniel Garcia play into this?
I don't know. I don't watch Collision. I don't know. I'm only explaining from the FTR side, and I don't fucking know. Why are you asking KW? I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know why there's a stretch match between Ricochet and Mark Briscoe. I don't know where the fuck that came from.
Oh man. So I'm assuming FTR is gonna win this.
Yes,
And
yes.
you brought it up, a stretcher match with Mark Briscoe and Ricochet for some
I don't
reason.
know. I don't know why it had to happen on Collision because I didn't see anything on Dynamite about this. I
Oh
don't know.
man.
Ricochet's gonna win. He's gonna win. Um, and in theory, between the two good talents, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a fine match. But I'm not emotionally invested in it. I don't
Yeah,
know the story behind it, right? But
I
but I'm pretty sure the match itself will be entertaining. There's gonna be spots. There's gonna be it should be fairly entertaining from an in ring standpoint. But if I don't know what the fuck's going on, I can't say this is gonna be better than like a regular 3.5 star match. Can't say that.
don't know. God bless Mark Briscoe. Just God bless him for still going. Um, I guess Ricochet's gonna win for some reason. Oh my god. Next is an Anarchy in the Arena match. You have Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, Will Nightingale, the Ops, which is Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Katsuyori Shibata
Your spot.
versus the Death Riders, John Moxley, Claudio, Marina Shafir, Wheeler Yuta, and the Young Cucks, Matt and Nick Ash Jackson.
No. And here's another thing. I mean, you're not even gonna know who I'm about to name right now. But Gabe Kidd's been involved
I know
so
what that
much.
is.
Oh, I'm literally shocked.
I, I I mean, I've seen his name, not so much as his wrestling ability, but him just being like, "Yo, fuck everyone, bruv. I'm better than everyone, bruv."
Oh,
Like,
okay,
okay,
all right, okay. Jesus. Um,
I'm better than the Rock, bruv. No one's better than me, bruv. I totally have not signed a contract with AEW, bruv.
I'll just go with the heels, or I'm sorry, baby faces.
Yeah, baby faces. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okada versus Speedball Mike
Right now,
Bailey.
baby faces.
Baby faces, man.
Okay. Well, I'll go with the heels then.
Okay. Okada versus Speedball Mike Bailey for the AEW Continental Championship.
This actually has a story with it. I will say that because this is going based off of what happened at the last pay-per-view. And they've been telling stories on TV. Again, this hasn't been a good story, but they've been telling stories about it. Yeah, but I'll go with Okada.
All right.
I mean,
Okada.
because I think they're gonna do a unification of him and Omega at All In. So
Nice. Okada. And lastly, what I'm assuming is the main event. Or maybe it might not be the main event. Well, it kind of should be the main event because of the
I
story behind it, at
don't
least.
think this is the main event, but it may be Anarchy in the Arena, one or the other. But I'll go with this as the main event. It's a first time ever match, and I think it's gonna be a fantastic match. And the only thing I really did see from AEW Night, which I thought was really fucking good, very passionate, was the Hangman promo with Adam Page. Oh, I'm sorry, with Hangman promo with Adam Page. He is Adam Page with Will Ospreay.
Right.
Despite what people think about Adam Page, like the one thing I think is one of his strongest suits is he gets very passionate in his promos and it makes you like believe, you know what I mean, and what he's saying. So,
Right.
um, yeah. I mean, I thought the promo that from what I saw tonight, in in some clips was good. I think this match is gonna be great. Uh, but yeah, I'm going with man. This was kind of hard, man. I think I'm gonna go with man, this is hard, man. But I'm gonna go with Osprey. Honestly, I don't really think it fucking matters. If you want me to be honest, I don't think it really matters who wins because they're not gonna be John Moxley, and I think Darby Allin's gonna be the one to come back and win it. He just fucking finished climbing Mount Everest, put a fucking AEW flag on top of Mount Everest. Like kudos to play. I know that wasn't in the news, but yeah, man, that's a fucking feat right there, man. Climbing Mount Everest, first time climbing that bitch. Like,
Mm-hmm.
goddamn. Um, which makes me realize that since Darby Allin climbed Mount Everest, you know that WWE is gonna get fucking send the Miz up to the fucking moon and put a WWE flag on the moon or some shit.
I mean, I'm surprised they didn't do that already, but
No. Now they're gonna do it because AEW climbed Mount Everest. They got to one up AEW.
yeah, pretty much. This match, it's more than likely gonna be Osprey, because I mean, they want Osprey to be the champion at All In, so go with
I
Osprey.
I don't think they're gonna put the title on Osprey. I really think it's gonna be Darby, in my opinion.
Hmm.
I mean, honestly, I don't give a damn who wins. Just get the title off fucking John Moxley, man. Jesus
I don't
Christ.
know. At this point, I'd settle for Keenan Thompson as the fucking AEW World Champion. I'd settle for the Rizzler as the fucking AEW World Champion, because John Moxley is just fucking death as World Champion. Like the whole
And,
Deck Riders thing has been
yeah,
garbage.
part of Death Rider, so that makes sense.
It's just fucking awful. Man, New York just choked away this lead. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, oh my God. I mean, granted, there's a minute and a half and it's only down by one, but fuck. Anyways, but yeah, just they get the title off of Moxley. Do something. I don't care what you do, just get it off of him. But anyways, those are our double or nada uh predictions. It'll be this weekend, so it'll be a busy weekend for us wrestling fans. So, anyway. But I don't know. Did about an hour. I think that's good enough. Um, have you been? Just kind of quick question. Have you been watching the Dark Side of the Ring episodes this
Uh,
season?
I haven't had an opportunity to know.
Okay. So I believe next week is going to be the season finale. Next week is going to be Muhammad Hassan, which that should be interesting. Um, this week, the most recent episode was about Daphne, and it's really tough to watch. I was a fan of Daphne. I was always someone that like I looked at her. I'm like, oh, she's unique. Like that was kind of my first foray into into goth girls. Um, and she has an interesting past because she was actually an actress at one point. She actually showed up in movies, and she did wrestling as like as far as I'm concerned, she never had like formal training. According to the documentary, to like be a wrestler, she just came in to just like be David Flair's like stalker girlfriend. And then she ended up getting herself over, and the whole group with her, David Flair and Crowbar, Devon Storm, ended up getting over and working. And I was always surprised why WWE never picked her up, but then I figured why, because she wasn't what WWE wanted at the time. Well, if like let's say if Daphne was today, I think WWE would have definitely picked her up because Triple H has this very diverse look at to like who he wants to sign with, in the women's division. So, but
I mean, I mean, isn't Tatum Paxley like not like almost like Daphne, but like she has shades of that character?
yeah, I mean, I think I said that before. I wouldn't be surprised if Tatum Paxley was influenced by Daphne.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't surprise me, but um, it was a very sad story. She had a very tragic end. They brought up the TNA spot where Abyss choked her through the table of thumbtacks and barbed wire, and she ended up hitting her head and got a concussion. And I think there was a lawsuit involved because TNA was, promised to pay her bills and they didn't, and it's just, really scummy with the way that turned out. Um, it very much an episode about mental health and you know anyone out there dealing with mental health. Mental health is you know it's a real thing, and it's always okay to talk to somebody, whether it's a friend, a therapist, a family member. Just know that you're not alone, people. So I'll just end it on that. But yeah, this season I thought was pretty good. They had some good episodes. They did one about Vader. Um, I'm trying to think of the other one. Oh man, I'm blanking. I need to look at the episodes, but yeah, it's been a pretty decent
Sheik.
season this season. Go ahead.
The Sheik.
The Sheik, which you know came out the same week that Sabu passed away. Which I don't know if you have any comments about the passing of Sabu.
I mean, it's been over a week. I mean, if anyone wants to know how I feel about Sabu, I love Sabu. I mean, I'll just keep it at that. I mean, he's one of the reasons why I, started watching ECW. So,
Um, Spitball Media, our friends, John Draper and B. Show Brad and Shaheen, they had a nice little tribute for him on their show. Shaheen, who's actually done the artwork for the show, he knew Sabu personally. Like, and by personally, I mean like they talked on the phone, they exchanged phone numbers, and they had they had each other on Facebook. So Shaheen has like a personal story behind knowing Sabu. So, um, but yeah, the Sheik episode I thought was very well done. Um, didn't necessarily have a tragic ending. I mean, obviously the Sheik passed away, but like nothing overly negative about it as far as like the Sheik was A, B, C, and D, and he did drugs and blah blah blah. But it was kind of interesting because the Sheik was he was very much old school because his name was Ed, and anytime someone would call the phone, would call his house phone, when they would refer to him as Ed, he would hang up. So he would always have people refer to him as Sheik or the Sheik. And obviously Sabu was his nephew, and Sabu wasn't even Middle Eastern at all. Um, I know the host of Wrestling Classics. He did an interview with Sabu, and I forget his name. The host of Wrestling Classics, is it Raj?
I don't know. I haven't seen anything from them.
Yeah, he brought up how like he was a big fan of Sabu and like he connected with him because he was a Middle Eastern wrestler. But come to find out Sabu wasn't really Middle Eastern, but Sabu was like really appreciative of it. Like he was laughing about it, and from what I heard about Sabu, like he was somebody that nobody had a bad word to say about in the wrestling business. Like you always heard about him being a nice guy and never fucking over anybody. Um, I know Joe Numbers from Soup had some dealings with him as well, and again, they're positive dealings. So I unfortunately never got a chance to watch ECW in its heyday. Um, I was able to enjoy Sabu on TNA and also WWE's version of ECW. So, but I do acknowledge that Sabu is a innovator of you know the early days of ECW, and he's a legend. So, R.I.P. to a legend. That's kind of how we're gonna end this. But we are done, people. We did a short show, and we will see y'all next week, same time, same channel, to talk about this busy weekend in wrestling. Justin, go ahead and tell the people about Spinebuster Tees.
Yeah, SpineBrushTees.com, SpineBrushTees on Instagram. Come visit me at SpineBrushTees at the Wonderland of the Americas inside Crossroads Mall.
Sir. I'm gonna try to swing by these next 2 days because I'll be off. Yeah, try to
Yeah,
swing
that'd be
by the
great.
store.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I do love coming by. And last time I came
Whoa,
by, I
whoa,
got
whoa,
the
pause. All right.
what?
You said I do love coming.
Oh yeah, I do love coming.
Christ, mate.
Hey, come on, you opened the door. I had to step in. Um, yeah, I do love coming by the store. I really do. I love coming by. Last time I came by, I got to hold one of those big ass belts, the AEW World Championship. I took a picture
Yeah,
of it and promoted the store on social media.
yeah,
So
yeah. You're officially the big. I had a couple people like it was like, oh man, you must be a big AEW fan because they thought you bought the belt. I was like. I was like, it was just
sure.
on the belt, like nothing more than that.
Oh man, I look pretty badass with that belt. Um, and where you can find me, Twitter, X, DY Experience. The show you can find anywhere where podcasts are distributed, whether it be Spreaker, Spotify, and the YouTube channel. So, like I mentioned, I will upload the audio portion of this show on YouTube, and the audio file on everywhere else will be available tomorrow around 10ish. So check that out. But we will be back next week, same time, same channel. And I believe me and Jeff Lippman will be covering the Battleground pay per view this Sunday, but I'll need to talk to him about it because there's a AW show as well. But, anyways, people, we are done and take care. Peace.
Peace.